What will we actually see in the sky in 2026? The night sky often feels unchanging. The same constellations return, the same stars rise and set, and from a casual perspective, not much seems to happen. But that impression is misleading. On human timescales, the sky is dynamic. Planets move, alignments occur, shadows fall across the sun and moon, and occasionally, rare events unfold that are worth stepping outside to witness. 2026 is one of those years where several observable events come together in a way that makes the sky more active than usual. To understand what makes a year interesting from an observational point of view, it helps to separate the sky into a few categories: predictable events like eclipses and planetary alignments, recurring phenomena like meteor showers, and slower, more subtle changes such as planetary motion and visibility cycles. None of these require specialized equipment to appreciate. In fact, many of the most interesting events in 2026 will be visible with the naked eye. One of the most notable events of the year will be a total solar eclipse on August 12th, 2026. Unlike partial eclipses, where only a portion of the sun is covered, a total eclipse occurs when the moon passes directly between Earth and the sun and completely blocks it for observers along a narrow path. For a few minutes, the daytime sky darkens, temperatures drop slightly, and the sun's outer atmosphere, the corona, becomes visible. This particular eclipse will be best observed from parts of Europe, including Spain and Iceland, as well as regions in Greenland. Outside the path of totality, much of Europe and surrounding areas will still see a partial eclipse, where the moon covers a significant portion of the sun, but not entirely. Even a partial eclipse is visually striking, though it does not produce the same dramatic shift in lighting as totality. Solar eclipses are predictable because the motions of Earth and the moon are well understood. However, they are also relatively rare at any given location. Most places on Earth experience a total solar eclipse only once every few centuries. That rarity is part of what makes them compelling. For many observers, 2026 may be one of the few opportunities in their lifetime to witness one without traveling across the globe. Another category of events that will shape the sky in 2026 involves planetary visibility. The planets in our solar system do not remain fixed relative to the stars. Instead, they move along predictable paths, sometimes appearing bright and prominent, and at other times fading into the sun's glare. In 2026, several planets will have periods of strong visibility. Jupiter and Saturn, the two largest planets, will both reach favorable positions for observation during the year. When a planet is at opposition, it is on the opposite side of Earth from the sun. This means it rises at sunset, is visible all night, and appears brighter and larger than usual. These moments are among the best times to observe planets, even without a telescope. Mars, which often captures attention because of its similarity to Earth, will also be visible, though not at its closest approach in 2026. Its brightness will vary over the year, and careful observers will notice its reddish color standing out against the background stars. Unlike stars, which appear fixed relative to each other, Mars will slowly shift position night after night. This motion is subtle but noticeable over time. Venus and Mercury, the inner planets, behave differently. Because they orbit closer to the sun than Earth does, they are never visible in the middle of the night. Instead, they appear either shortly after sunset or just before sunrise. Venus, in particular, is often the brightest object in the sky after the sun and moon, and in 2026, it will go through phases where it becomes especially prominent as either an evening star or a morning star. Beyond planets, meteor showers provide another accessible way to observe the sky. These events occur when Earth passes through streams of debris left behind by comets. As these particles enter Earth's atmosphere, they burn up and produce streaks of light. Several well-known meteor showers will occur in 2026, including the Perseids in August and the Geminids in December. The Perseids are particularly popular because they occur during warm summer nights in the northern hemisphere, making them easier to observe. Under good conditions, with dark skies and minimal light pollution, it is possible to see dozens of meteors per hour. However, meteor showers depend heavily on observing conditions. Moonlight can reduce visibility, and urban lighting can wash out fainter meteors. The best experience comes from darker locations, away from cities, where the sky is not overwhelmed by artificial light. Another subtle but interesting aspect of the sky in 2026 involves conjunctions, moments when planets appear close together in the sky. These are not physical interactions, but rather line-of-sight alignments from Earth's perspective. For example, two planets might appear near each other in the same region of the sky, even though they are separated by millions or billions of kilometers in space. Conjunctions are visually appealing because they create temporary patterns that stand out from the usual arrangement of stars. In some cases, the moon will also pass near planets, creating brief groupings that are easy to spot without any equipment. While these events are predictable, their visual impact depends on timing and location. Some conjunctions occur close to the horizon or during twilight, making them harder to observe. Others take place higher in the sky, where they are more easily visible. One of the more overlooked aspects of observing the sky is how much it changes simply due to Earth's motion around the sun. Over the course of a year, different constellations become visible at night. In winter, the sky is dominated by constellations like Orion, while in summer, the Milky Way becomes more prominent in darker regions. In 2026, as in any year, this gradual shift will continue. Observers who pay attention over months will notice that the sky they see in January is very different from what they see in July. This is not because the stars are moving significantly on human timescales, but because Earth's position in its orbit changes the direction we face at night. For those willing to go a bit further, binoculars or small telescopes can reveal additional details. Jupiter's moons, Saturn's rings, and even the phases of Venus can be observed with relatively simple equipment. These observations do not require advanced knowledge, only patience and a willingness to look more closely. What makes 2026 interesting is not a single event, but the combination of multiple accessible phenomena. A solar eclipse provides a rare and dramatic moment. Planetary positions offer extended periods of visibility. Meteor showers create opportunities for repeated observation, and conjunctions add variety to the sky's appearance. At the same time, it is important to keep expectations realistic. The sky does not suddenly transform into something unfamiliar. Most changes are subtle, and many require attention to notice. The value comes from understanding what you're looking at and recognizing the patterns behind it. In a broader sense, observing the sky connects everyday experience with larger physical processes. The motion of planets reflects gravitational interactions. Eclipses are the result of orbital alignments. Meteor showers trace the paths of comets over long periods. These are not isolated events, but parts of a system that operates continuously, whether we are paying attention or not. 2026 offers a reminder of that system in motion. It is not a year defined by a single extraordinary discovery, but by a series of observable events that make the structure of the solar system more visible from Earth. For anyone willing to step outside and look up, it provides multiple opportunities to see those processes directly. The key difference between an ordinary year and an interesting one is not the sky itself, but how much attention we give it. The events of 2026 are predictable, documented, and accessible. What matters is whether we choose to notice them. You also need to consider where and when you're looking. In cities, light pollution removes most of the sky, leaving only the brightest objects visible. Many events in 2026, like meteor showers or faint planetary alignments, are easy to miss under these conditions, but become obvious in darker locations. The moon also plays a major role. A bright, full moon can wash out much of the sky, while darker nights make details like the Milky Way or meteors far easier to see. Timing matters just as much as the event itself. Another important point is expectation. Most astronomical events are not instant or dramatic. Planets move slowly, alignments last for hours or days, and changes become noticeable over time. The sky is not static, but it does not change in a way that is always obvious at first glance. 2026 is not about one single event. It's about a series of observable changes that, together, make the motion of the solar system visible from Earth. Even small changes in the sky reflect real motion happening on a massive scale. Planets shift position, alignments form and disappear, and the sky you see tonight will not look exactly the same in a few weeks. Most of these changes are subtle, but they follow precise and predictable patterns. Observing them over time makes those patterns easier to recognize. What seems static at first is actually a system in constant motion,